Lauren Losung is storming through Europe with her Lolife brand, which has given rise to a label of the same name, a radio show and home for her as a DJ and her residents. Mix Mag's one to watch. Having got her first set of decks at 11, she's an experienced DJ that is straight talking, clear-headed and respected in her field. I'm your host Tiger Light, and this is Lauren Losung in conversation with Beatport. Beatport Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today. Are you Skyping us from Liverpool?
Yeah, from my home studio in Liverpool, yeah.
What's your setup like in your home studio?
So I've got like an iMac, I've got a MacBook, which I just use the iMac for a screen now because it's quite old. I've got Genelec 8040B monitors, I've got a Korg Minilog, I've got like a little piece of hardware, like I've got a Roland 909, I've got a Machine Jam, which I've only started using recently, an AK LPD8, which is quite handy and easy to link up to Ableton, to use on Ableton to just have some control over the modular. And then I've got like another drum machine, like an Arturia drum butte, and then a couple of other little synths. But to be honest, like I don't use a lot of hardware. I do most of my work is like sample based, and then if I feel like the track needs a little bit of magic, I might get like one of the synths out and just like add some effects on top and like add like a couple of layers. Or
yeah, I read that you prefer to work inside the DAW.
I just find that sometimes the hardware can slow me down, and I think for the creative process you want it to be as smooth and as quick as possible, and you don't want to like halt yourself in any way, because I think you can get syncing issues and stuff. But sometimes you can have a bit of writer's block, and it is good to just whip out a drum machine sometimes, because sometimes you can just even make a mistake, which might be like a good mistake, because it just sounds great. Like, I mean, one of the tracks on the EP, the first Lolife EP, HSO, I did all the drums on the TR8, and like, that's probably one of my strongest tracks by far, and the drums are pretty simple, but then obviously I just layered them up with like drums that I'd put into Logic I was using at the time, but I use Ableton now.
And that's the new release that's just come out on the 22nd of April in the Beatport stores, a purple vinyl release, Justify?
Yeah, so there's been like 100 purple vinyls pressed, and then the rest are just black. But yeah, we worked really hard on the artwork and everything to go into this release, so I'm really happy to get it out finally.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
Oh, thank you. So the lead track is Justify. I've been playing that, to be honest, as more of an edit for about a year and a half, and it was just like a lot of people were messaging me asking me to release it, so like I did release it in the end, and then I just thought, why not release it under my own label, and then obviously HSO is like a bit more stripped back, a bit less of a DJ tool, and it's more like a staple of like the kind of music that I'm making and playing in my sets, so it like quite groovy and rolling, and then we've obviously got the remix by Fabe and by DJ Stu as well, which are just two really great twists on the track, because DJ Stu is a little bit more like, I'd say like Chicago-y, housey kind of vibe, but still like really thumping and clubby. And then you've got like Fabe's remix, which is like a really good example of the stuff he's making at the moment, just like really groovy, stripped back, like using a lot of hardware, but like still got that minimal vibe, but like everything he makes is like really for the dance floor, which I love, because obviously when you're a DJ, you want to, like, to me as well, like when I put out an EP, a lot of the time I'll have like maybe like a warm-up track in there, but I like the majority of the tracks to be tracks that DJs will play in the club and stuff that I play as well. So
DJ Stu, he's from Paris.
Yeah,
and what's your Parisian connection, and how did you hook up with him? What's the story there?
So basically, DJ Stu's a really good friend of mine now. He's a really amazing guy. Like, so basically my first link up with him was through Cynthia. She's doing really well at the moment. She's German. I was playing like a lot of her stuff, and like we were in touch and stuff, and basically I played at Space Ibiza. I can't remember what year it was now, it might have been 2016, for Carl Cox, and I played one of DJ Stu's tracks there, and I was playing a lot of his music at the time, and this video that I put out of me playing DJ Stu's track, like got like quite a lot of hits, and Cynthia tagged DJ Stu and was like, oh look, Lauren's playing your track, and he was like really pleased about it, obviously, and he messaged me, or I messaged him to say, you know, like, love your music. If you've got anything else that you want to send me, like unreleased stuff or whatever, like I'd be more than happy to play it, because I'm a big fan. I've been buying his records for a while. I've been like a big fan of his labels like Rutlands and Steward that he does, which is mainly his productions, a bit like heavier stuff. And I'd been buying his records for a while. So I just kept in contact with him. He's a lovely guy, and then I eventually started to send him demos, and then I released. I was actually the debut release on one of his labels called House Puff, and that was my Tresor EP, which did pretty well. I think it got like one of the top tracks of the year in Mixmag and stuff. It did quite well.
connection to the infamous Tresor that's based in Berlin. The title of the track is Tresor. What's the story there?
People assumed that with it being called Tresor, it was going to be like quite a heavy techno track, and it's not really the case. It was more so because, I mean, obviously I'm influenced by techno, but the music I make is not in any way, shape or form techno. It's like stripped back house music, like dubby house. But when I visited Tresor for the first time about 6 years ago maybe with my friends, just had the best time. And like there's actually, like that night me and my friends were actually planning on going to Berghain, and obviously we didn't even end up getting in the end, and I've still to this day never been to Berghain, which I feel ashamed about, because obviously I'm a DJ and I think, wow, I've never been there. But we've only tried to get in once, didn't get in. But before that we were in Tresor and we were having the most amazing time, and we left Tresor to go to Berghain, and it was just the worst thing we did, because we were having the most amazing night. And it was one of them, like, I think now if you're having a great night in a club, or like if you're in a good tent at a festival, don't move, because it's like you don't know that other club is going to be as good or even let you in. But yeah, so really Tresor was just like, I don't know, it was just like a pretty magical, influential club that I visited. Obviously I've been to a lot of clubs and played in a lot of clubs in my time, and especially over the last 5 years, I'd say even more so since I went to Tresor. But it just like really blew my mind when I went there. And like I loved the upstairs, that was more my kind of vibe. It was a lot more housey, underground, like housey kind of vibe. But then downstairs, the actual Tresor, it just had like a really eerie feel, and I just loved it. And I think I actually had, I tend to collect like tokens from clubs that I play in. So I've got like ones from like Tresor and like Watergate and like Frieda, I don't even know how you say it, but Frieda Boo or something from Zurich that I played the other night. And I collect them and I put them like in front of me for like when I'm producing. And I think like obviously when I was making this track, I just was thought of Tresor, seeing the token, and that's where the name come from basically. But yeah, it's not very techno, but it's definitely like a huge influence to me. It was probably one of the best clubbing experiences I've had as a clubber as well. So
it was the glass tokens for when you bring the glasses back.
Yeah.
Anyone that's listening and doesn't know the system that we have over here in Berlin.
Yeah.
limited purple vinyl release, and then also it's coming with the launch of your label, which is really exciting. Like, what's the team that you've got around you? Are you a solo lady boss, or have you got a crew with you doing it?
I basically just run it all on my own, to be honest with you. Like, I've got resident DJs that play for me, but I do like the majority of it on my own. I've got someone who does the artwork now. I even used to do the artwork, to be honest, on my own, and I do most of the videos and stuff.
This is for your night, yeah, not for the label, which is just launching.
This is for my night, yeah. I've got someone who does all the art now for the label. He's absolutely brilliant. But yeah, I used to do the majority of it on my own, to be honest. But as it's like growing and building, and as I'm getting busier, I can't actually do all of it on my own. So, you know, my manager does help with like bookings and stuff, and I was working in collaboration with 24 Kitchen Street, which was like our home recently for like the past couple of years. So they will help me out with bookings. And
what is 24 Kitchen Street?
It's a venue in Liverpool. It's like famous for having this big massive disco ball in the centre of the dance floor. It's like a really cool space because like you can kind of do what you want with it. Yeah, it's a really cool little venue. It's well loved in Liverpool as well. Like, it's always busy, and they have like a really wide range of events on there, from like bands to just everything really. I started the night in Manchester when I was 18 as like a kind of side project when I was in uni.
Yeah, so you were studying sports management at Manchester Met University, which is quite far removed from being a DJ, which is considered quite an unhealthy lifestyle.
Well, I'll be honest with you, like I was always a sporty person in school. And I think when it comes to making that decision of what uni I wanted to go to and what course I was going to do, to be honest, I didn't put enough thought into it. And I just thought, I'm sporty, I like sport, let's go into sports management. And it was more about what uni I wanted to go to as well. So I kind of, I'll be honest with you, I wanted to go to uni in John Moores University in Liverpool at first, but I didn't get enough points because I just didn't really, I think I'd lost interest in school when it comes to like doing my A-levels. I just didn't really push myself enough. And when it got to getting me results, in the end I had to go to Manchester, but it was the best thing that had ever happened to me because I always say to people, like, if you can move away from home, because it was just the best experience for me. I got to, I wouldn't say I found myself, but it's as cliche as it sounds, but I used to like play in a lot of clubs around Manchester. I used to play on Canal Street, and I played like 3-4 times a week. I used to play like house music and like just like a range of music from like 17 to 18, 19. I started Lolife when I was 18 years old because basically a club called Red Rum, which if you're in Manchester head, you'll probably know that club as a student. It was quite popular. It was quite grimy, but it was really cool, and it like low ceiling. It only held about 150, 200 people. And they used to have a lot of student nights there. And basically there was a space for a new student night. And my friend called me and said, "Oh, Lauren, you should start your own night," because she knew I'd started DJing. And I was kind of like, "Oh, no chance. Like, I'm not ready to start my own night." Like, I didn't even have an event. And I remember like discussing it with my friend, and I was like, what can I call my event? And he was like, why not Lolife? Because like, your DJ name is, well, at the time it was Low Sung. I changed it to Lauren Low Sung, and he was like, what about Lolife? And I was like, yeah, that's perfect, because it is like my life kind of, but then the word Lolife is quite a cool word as well. So
what does Low Sung come from?
My real name is Lauren Sung, and the song stems from China, obviously. So my dad is like part Chinese, so I've got Chinese blood in me, like not much. I think I'm only about a quarter, like maybe even less than that. You probably couldn't even tell from looking at me that I had Chinese, but it's one of them. People say, oh, you're like a bit Italian or something, but it is actually Chinese. So that basically come because one of my sister's friends used to call me Lo, like as Lauren abbreviated, and then my DJ name was Low Sung, and then I kind of just like went off the sound of Low Sung, and I kind of wanted people to know that I was a girl as well, and I quite like the name Lauren, so I thought. And also I absolutely loved Maya Jane Coles years ago, and I loved the triple barrel name, and I thought, I could be Lauren Low Sung, and then it kind of stuck, and then I just, that's my name. So any gig I could get, really, like as you do when you're starting off, because it's all about building your confidence and your record collection and seeing actually what you like and love. Because when I was 18, I mean, I always loved house music, and that has been my first and will be my last love. But I think, like, obviously I was trying to make money as well at the time when I was a student, so I was playing like whatever they told me to play, really. I'd play like pop music and everything, which I really cannot stand, and I literally can't even listen to it on the radio now. Like, it really annoys me. Like, nothing against people who like pop music, but I think because I used to get forced to play it, I just completely just really don't like it anymore. But
were you playing Justin Timberlake?
Worse than that, it was like Lady Gaga and name it, I was playing it. Like, they were telling me to play Coldplay. Like, I can't even listen to Coldplay anymore. Like, no offense to Coldplay, but starting Lolife was amazing because I could then just play what I wanted to play, and I wasn't being told what to play, and I wasn't having to stick to what the club wanted me to play. And then I was gaining more contacts through the likes of Warehouse Project because I lived in Manchester, and like the people who used to promote for the Warehouse Project used to come to Lolife. And then I started selling, I think I started flyering for them and like selling tickets for Warehouse Project when I was 18. And then from there, it just that they asked me to be like a clubbing partner for Warehouse Project. And then I eventually started DJing for the Warehouse Project from there, and I've been like a regular playing for them probably for the last, I'd say 8 to 10 years or something like that. So
how much influence did that club and that team have on you?
Oh, majorly, yeah. Like, because I started going to Warehouse Project, like, I mean, don't tell Sasha, but probably when I was about 16. And I used to go to, I went to Ibiza when I was like 16. I used to come back and go to the Warehouse Project. I went to Cocoon. I used to absolutely love like Sven Vath and Ricardo Villalobos. Like, Sven's a little bit too heavy for me sometimes, but I loved Ricardo, like the deeper stuff. And yeah, that was just like a huge influence to me because I mean, I used to go there with my friends and just, I wouldn't just go to like get off my head like most people would. Like, I'd literally go there because I loved the music. And like I think that's something people say about me as well, because I'm not really one for like after parties and stuff. Like, I have a drink and I have a good time and I enjoy myself and I'll stay up late, but I like kind of know when to call it a day. And I think like because I just love music, I don't really need to take it too far, if that makes sense. And I think that's why I'll always be in this game for the long run as well, because I've got a head on my shoulders, and I realise that this isn't just, it's not just a passion, it's a career for me as well. And I want to be in it for a very long time. So
you think that that's going to hold you in good stead for the longevity of your career? Have you seen people around you where you're like, someone's falling victim to addiction, to the craziness? Where do you ever feel like you need to step in?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, mental health is like huge at the moment. Like most people, they suffer from like anxiety and depression and stuff, and people might suffer from it and you would never know. But when you're taking drugs on top of that and alcohol, it's just, it's difficult. And especially with all the traveling and all the time you spend on your own, like, it's just not healthy. And I know a lot of DJs like do go out and they get off their heads and they have the best time. And I'm not saying they're a bad person for doing that, because like I've had a good time in my past as well, but I'm just a lot more careful now, and I pick my battles wisely. And not every show and gig is a party, it's work as well. I think you need to keep a head screwed on, and you need to have a fresh head for the studio on Monday morning. So you need to be like productive, and I think you need to. I recently started going to the gym just before Christmas, and that's been great for me as well, because it's like a good release, and obviously like the endorphins and stuff, and it's great to like bounce back into the studio with a clear head and not like a fuzzy tired brain all the time. And I just find it works for me. Like, I do drink of a weekend, and I'll have a good time with my mates and stuff, but as well, like I do want to look after myself, and I do want to be in this career for a long time, and I do want to be putting out the best music I can, and I don't want things like mental issues or like my health to get in the way. So I suppose that's why I do what I do.
It's true. I've made some of my best music when I've been on a juice diet, just for clarity,
Yeah.
You've been on a 9-date tour as part of this release. How did you choose those cities?
We've done about 7 of them already. And basically it was more about like the cities that I love and the cities and the promoters that I've worked with before and I wanted to work with again. And I just like put some ideas forward for some bookings and some friends that I wanted to play with me, who like also like represent the kind of sound and music that I play and what I want the brand to be about. So we had a show a couple of weeks ago in Birmingham with Terminal, which I'm resident for, and that was with Raresh. This week I played in Frankfurt with Fabe in Tann's House West, which is like one of my ultimate favourite clubs to play in. Played in this like tiny room called Dora, and the crowd are just like right on top of you. And I played there once before, and the fact that we got like a Lolife date there, I was just so excited. And then we had like East End Dubs in Nottingham. We had Manchester with Michael James. We've got like a lead show coming up with Ben Rao. I'm trying to think what else off the top of my head. And then we're also planning a part 2 of the tour as well, which is probably going to be after summer. I'm not sure when, but my agent's just working on some dates now. And yeah, it's just looking really good, to be honest. Like the brand's looking really strong, and the promoters are taking an interest, which is always good. And I think the music is, I've been collecting and working on these releases for a while now, and I think I'm in a fortunate position because I get to play a lot of the music for a while before releasing it, so I can try and test it. And like the number 2 release that's going to be for Lolife, which is going to be by Freaks of Visions, who are like slap funk, like Amsterdam orientated. Their release is be after summer because of some factory delays, but basically I've sent it to a few friends, and Fabe was actually saying that a few days ago that one of the tracks is like a track that he's going to have in his record bag for like 10 years. He thinks it's a classic and stuff, and that's what I want Lolife to be about. Like I don't want it to be throwaway music. I want it to be music that people are going to have, in the record bags for a long time. And I want it to be like a classic one day. And I just don't want to make music because it's in or trendy. I want to make music because I absolutely love it, and the fact that it can be played on all different dance floors. And it also amazes me, like when I can go to these cities and different countries, and like I can play to a UK crowd and they can like the new music for Lolife or my other label 11, and then I can go to these cities abroad and I can hear DJs playing my music, the label's music, and other people loving the new releases and stuff. And it's like an amazing feeling, really. It's like really rewarding, like when you put a lot of time and effort into growing the music and the label, and then to hear and see that the audience are absolutely loving it. It's like it's really gives you a big buzz.
How many of the releases are going to be your own, and how many will be forthcoming with other artists? Are you mainly going to push your own records interspersed with a few featured artists? What's your plan with that?
To be honest, I've planned the next 2 releases after the one I've just done, but I'm trying to get my work on other labels, to be honest. But Lolife will 100% be a home for my music as well. But I do have a lot of friends who send me music that I absolutely love, and to be honest, I love it that much that I think I want to release that. Like I don't want anyone else to release that. So the next 2 releases are not going to be from me. It's going to be from Freaks of Visions, then a remix by Michael James, and then we've got another one by Bodler and Tom Sines, which is unbelievable EP. And so I'm really, really excited about the music I've got coming out for other people, because I do want to push other people's music as well as myself as well. And I will definitely be doing another Lolife EP, there's no doubt about it. Like I'm working on it already, but I don't want it to just be about me, because I take a lot of influence from the music that I play and love and the countries that I visit. So I kind of want to like bring everyone together as like a family and have like a kind of Lolife family and crew. So
the beginning of an empire.
Yeah.
With the nights, radio, now with the label. You also do clothes as well.
T-shirt, yeah.
In your dreams or in your vision, would you want to be like a Defected one day, or how big do you want to take it?
You never know, but I don't think we'll ever be a Defected. I don't think it'll be as commercially liked as Defected, but I mean, yeah, definitely. That would be a goal. But I'm not doing this because I want Lolife to be big. I'm doing it because I want people to love it, Lolife around the world. And I mean, if it's a smaller label in terms of like not as many people liking it, but the people who do like it absolutely love it, and I fill a gap in the market, then that's what I want to do. I'm not doing it because I want to be a millionaire. Like obviously I need to make some money from it because I couldn't carry on doing it, but like I feel like I'm doing it for the right reasons because I just generally love the music, and I've got a lot of friends in the industry that I want to help out and support, and a lot of my music I want to release too, and obviously I want to be hosting like festival stages with Lolife and stuff, and want to carry on touring, and I just want the brand to be known really to those who want to know it, and I'm not bothered about it being huge. I just would like to see it grow because it is like my little baby.
Will you also be accepting unsolicited demos? If anyone's listening and they want to send you something, how do they get in touch?
At the moment, I'm not, just because I've got a lot of music that I'm going to release, and I think with releasing vinyl first, there's a lot of delays, and I don't want to mess anybody about. So people that have been even trying to send me stuff for 11, to be honest, at the moment, I've been saying, because I mean, as a producer myself, I know how annoying it is when you want to get music out and you don't want to be waiting a year or so. So, if someone's happy to wait a year and a half to get the music released, then by all means send me this stuff. And yeah, but at the moment we're not really looking for demos. But obviously if we hear a really special track, then yeah, go for it. If you think you've got that special track, then send me it, please. But I'd just say send me it on lolifeuk@gmail.com. But I need to set up a demo email, to be honest. I haven't set one up yet. That's just like the contact email.
What about for 11 instead?
11demos@hotmail.com if you want to send some stuff over. I mean, I'll be happy to listen to it anyway and just give you some feedback if that's what you're after. But a lot of people do send stuff and it's just not really the 11 type in genre at all, and you could just tell that it's never stuff that we'd sign. So if you're going to send stuff, please have a listen, and if you do know a bit about the label and you're actually interested and you send good music, you've got much more of a chance of us wanting to sign it, because these people who send emails and they don't even say hi, and they just send you a track and they're kind of like, this is my track, and it's a bit like, good for you. You know what I mean? Yeah, manners don't cost nothing, so it's nice when people say a little bit of an intro and say that like they do like the label and stuff. It means a lot. So I'll be more than happy to listen and even give feedback, even if we can't sign it. So
look, with 11 and Lolife, how are you splitting time for both? Is it all going into Lolife now?
11 is doing really well at the moment. I run that label basically with my partner Sean Bennett. I do the majority of the A&R stuff. She does a bit of A&R too, but she's like got another full-time job, so I do like the majority, because I'm like always on the computer and always listening to music and stuff, and always in the studio. And she deals with like contracts and all that. We call it the boring side. But yeah, as a team we work really well, and she's been great as well, and she's got such a good ear for music, and we love the same kind of stuff. So she helps me with the 11 stuff. We do a lot of that together. And Lolife is just mainly my project, but Sean is also a resident DJ for Lolife, but I just take the lead on most of it. And I will go back to her and say, what do you think of this track and stuff, because it's good to have a second pair of ears. But yeah, as I say, like 11's doing really well. The last two releases we've had number ones, and I think it was after the Dimmish EP, which was our last release, it was number one, and that was number one for like 6 weeks or something. And after like the first week of being released, so that did really well. And then we had a Rich Next remix from the release before, which went to number one for a good while as well. So the label's getting stronger and stronger, and I think we've only had in a total of about 3 years, which is, I mean, it's not that short a time for label, but we've only had I think it's 4 or 5 releases, which is not a lot, because we do like quality over quantity. So as I say, like we'll try and test the music over long periods of time and see if we like it, and we don't really rush to sign music, because we want it to be, as I said about Lolife, we want it to be in people's record bags or USBs for a long time. And I think it's turning out for the best, because we are gradually building quite a good fan base, and people are starting to say that, you know what, every release is strong, which it's good to hear.
You're running it with Sean, but 11 is your lucky number, right? Like 11 is when you got the decks.
Yeah, I do love the number 11. I'm actually quite obsessed with the number 11. Quite weird, but I mean, there's just a lot of history with me and that number. Like, my birthday's on the 11th of May, which is actually this Saturday, so
Ooh,
I'll wait for my card
birthday.
to post. Thank you. So yeah, 11th of May is my birthday. I used to play football, being number 11, and I'm not really much of a gambler, but I mean, I do like the odd like little bet, and I will put like the number 11 on. I've won quite a lot of money on it as well, and just like weird things have happened in casinos with like the number 11 coming out 3 times when I've put money on it and stuff, and just like loads of things really. But yeah, 11 Records. I always wanted to start a label called 11 Records, and then I met Sean, and we both loved the same music, and you know, I was just like, you know, why not do this together kind of thing. And you know, I'm not gonna lie, we've had our fair share of little arguments over certain things, but then you know, we laugh about it, and then now like we just find that we're both doing really well with it, and we absolutely love it, and it's a great little side project for both of us. So
my birthday's on the 11th.
Is it? Oh, go on. Put it back. That's right. That means this interview is going to be great, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Will.
It's going to be great.
thing I think for anybody that DJs, any Beatport fans, is how professional DJs organise their music. Do you have a system? Do you use SD cards when you're using CDJs?
No, I don't. I probably should, because I've had my fair share of issues with record box now and again, but I don't know if that's because I go from putting tracks on record box from my iMac, which is like an older version of record box, and then I go onto the newer software on my MacBook Pro, and then like my USB has made an absolute disaster of me sometimes. Like sometimes people don't notice, but if you see me panicking, it's probably because record box is going tits up. Am I allowed to swear?
It's fine.
But yeah, usually because I've got an issue with record box, but I tend to just organise all my music on my iMac now, so I haven't had that problem for a while, touch wood. And I changed my USB. I was using like one of them really hard wearing SanDiscs. I had 2 of them, and I just had so much bad luck with them, so I've swapped it to like this like little tiny mini disc now, which holds like, I don't know, it's like 260 gigs. Like it holds quite a lot. But yeah, and then it's like a 3.0 for the speed, so I wouldn't use anything less than that because you want it to be pretty quick. But yeah, I just use record box, and then I rip the odd tune for vinyl when I'm traveling, because I don't like to carry vinyl away sometimes, and then I'll take the odd record with me. And usually just I receive a lot of promos, and then I'll get the majority of my stuff from Beatport. And what's so good about using obviously having your mobile phone on the go with you, like I can hear a track from like a friend or whatever on Instagram or something, and then I can just add it to my Beatport cart, and then at the end of the week before a gig I've got like a collection of music that I've added from my phone that I've forgotten about, and then I can obviously look on Beatport, and it's good to look at other people's carts and stuff, what they're playing, and have a good route and dig from like some older labels and stuff, and then look at your back catalogue and just like see some similar artists to yourself. And yeah, and then when I organise my music, I never, I'll organise it from top to bottom in a way that the majority of the stuff at the top is like more like for the beginning of my set, but I would never really order a set, because I kind of like to play off the cuff, and that's just the way I've always done it. And I mean, I am organised to a certain extent, but then I kind of like to be a bit unorganised when it comes to my music, because I like to kind of go with a feeling rather than going with my organisation from a week before when I wasn't actually in that club and playing to that crowd, because I think it's good to actually feel the crowd and be a DJ, to me, because that's what being a DJ is all about, and is adapting to the room. I like it to be a little bit of a mess, so I can just dig and then go with me feeling and go with me gut. So
yeah, other DJs have said that on this podcast, that they like it to be a bit chaotic.
Yeah, I do.
Then other people have said they like it really, really organised. So it's interesting. It is really, really interesting to hear how people create the best sets that they can. Thank you for those amazing words about Beatport. Like, that sounded like a scripted advert, but it's actually just you being a professional and using Beatport for what it's meant for. So that's amazing. Thank you for that. gigs have you got coming up?
I'm playing in Watergate tomorrow with Hector and David G. Tronic, and then it's my birthday at the weekend, so I'm actually off. So then the week after that, I'm playing in Leeds for the end of the Lolife tour with Ben Rao. And then the week after, I'm playing in Terminal from a residency there with Margaret Dias. I'm playing Junction 2 in the beginning of June, which I'm really excited about, with like Teeny, Apollonia, Luca Dice, people like that. I'm actually going to be playing quite a few Terminal shows. We're actually planning part 2 of the Lolife tour, as I say. So excited about that. That's what I've got coming off anyway, and it's just planning Lolife 11 stuff and just gigs here, there and everywhere, up and down Europe. I played for East End Dubs the weekend just gone as well for his party, East Enders. That was really, really cool in Zurich. And then I had a bit of like a mad bank holiday because I played Forbidden Forest that same day, and then I played for Terminal with like Sonia Mooney and Apollonia and stuff, so that was like pretty sick.
Did you manage to get some rest after that, like 3 shows in a row?
That's exactly why I couldn't do this interview yesterday, because I mean, I felt dizzy, and I thought I want this interview to be as best as it can be, and I didn't know it was going to be an hour, to be honest, and she said it was going to be an hour, and I was like, shit, like I really need to like hydrate and do this interview tomorrow, because I was just exhausted, and I just sounded like a zombie, to be honest, yesterday. So I thought she's going to think I'm like a really rude and snotty, but it was just the fact that I just didn't feel one bit well. But yeah, I just got a nap yesterday and stuff, and just chilled out and feeling a lot better today. But yeah, looking forward to tomorrow in Berlin anyway.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad that you did self-care, because that's super important, and so you can keep being your creative, amazing self. Wishing you an amazing show tomorrow, and best of luck with the amazing release, and thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank you for your time. Thank you very much. And thanks for the support from Beatport as well. Thank you.
of our employees. If a former agent dies after retirement,
Beatport Podcast.